Hey everyone, this is Jan. Welcome to my weekly little show in which I show you some of the sights and sounds of Barcelona and give you a little update on where I'm at with my art.
Up on some comic book greats that I apparently know very little about. Will Eisner gets thrown around so much that I kind of feel like I know him, but I've seen some of his spirit art, and it turns out I thought he did Walt Disney type drawings. Like, I had no idea he actually did that, and I was really blown away by his figure work and just how expressive he draws people, like going through these emotions in a panel. And it really made me think about my comic book and like, man, a lot of people are just kind of standing around talking like, oh, there's that one kid that runs away. It's kind of a waste of time, like looking at his stuff, quite frankly. So that's very inspiring. I've never heard Jack Kirby speak. I know his comics. I didn't enjoy them as a kid. I didn't like the art as a kid. I mean, it was okay. It just didn't quite appeal to me back then. But just like hearing him talk about Galactus and how he came up with the idea and the ideas behind the Silver Surfer and all that stuff, it's like, oh my God, this stuff is, I can't stop watching this. I need to know more. So yeah, totally digging into this documentary. But then at the same time, I'm like, I want to draw now. So I've been drawing all day. Guess I'm just gonna draw them while I'm here, you know. So let's see if I can hold on to this one and try a different angle. Having practiced a lot with like guides and like trying to get proportions right and getting better at it. Lately, what I've been focusing on, because I've been making those collages, is I've been focusing on just kind of drawing within a given space, if that makes sense. So. Because before I would start a drawing and then it would kind of spread out. So now I'm kind of like, okay, this figure is going to have to go here. Therefore, laundry's done. Therefore, I am going to have to make sure that I stay within this shape. And I kind of block it out, and it's fun. And it kind of comes from drawing the guidelines, I guess. For the most part, I have to say I've had very little time this week to get art done. It's mid-December, the holidays are upon us, there's lots of organizing to be done, and then out of the blue, we were thrown into a pretty full-on training session at work that lasted almost an entire week, and they've pretty much doubled our workload, or knowledge base, I should say. And it's kind of fun and interesting, you know, wouldn't want to get bored or anything, but it's also pretty, like, it's been very intense, like just absorbing a lot of information, and most of it, you know, it's very similar to what we were doing before. It just increases the programs we use, if that makes sense. And unfortunately, that means a bigger headache for yours truly. I had no time to draw at work this week, except for one drawing on a Monday. Yeah, that was a shame. And then after work, there was the Christmas dinner, there was meeting up with a friend, fixing the shower. There was Rogue One, got to see Rogue One. And I think that's pretty much my whole week, actually. Like, it's been full on. It's been fun, but it's been like, this weekend, I've truly caught up on art. I truly had to, like, okay, I need to draw. And so I did most of Saturday. It's Sunday now. I think I've easily put in a good 5 hours already. And I will show you my 5 hours, of course, as soon as I get this one out of the way. This young-looking Frank Miller, another artist who I know very little about it. Like, I'm familiar with his work from the 80s, though I've never heard of this Ronin comic book. So that's going to be a cool one to check out right after Berserk, which Ox recommended. Totally loving the art in that one. There's a lot of really juicy black and white line art, which is just the kind of art I really dig. So I'm really going through a bit of a Japanese phase right now, which is awesome. Also started reading some more Akira comic books by Otomo. I saw that, I forget the name, but there's this one comic book he did about a girl who, very much like Akira, is a youngster with supernatural powers and kind of loses her mind. But the art is, like, I used to own that comic book. I can't remember the name, but it's just fantastic. Like, that had such a big impact on me back in the day. In this episode of The Starving Artist, I find out my flatmate has made cheesecake. It's only 11 at night. I think Frank came out all right. This one right here is not drawn from life. It is drawn from an example of another artist, Travis Trust, whose line work I really, really like. And so here I kind of get into the swing of things. It kind of flows very smoothly. I'm not outright trying to copy him copy. I can't even speak. I'm not outright copying the exact drawing. I'm just kind of feeling my way through how I think he does the lines, and it's nice. Another thing I've kind of been thinking about this week when it comes to drawing more comic booky and like trying to find my style is kind of like, how do I translate rough sketches into ink? Like, how do I render that? Because just looking at how other artists render and like certain texturing techniques they use, I don't always feel like it applies to my art well, or I don't always want to think in that way. Like I'm still very much trying stuff out. So one thing that I'm kind of curious about is how to stylize, if you will. So I kind of had to hurry up, so I drew these awkward shapes and just doing a little bit of line work just to make them into fluffy clouds, but not too much. And I'm kind of just having fun with it. Like I'm just, you know, I think as a design for a scene, this kind of works. It's kind of what I was going for. I was hoping to draw something a little bit more interesting over here, but like, you know, I have to work with the time given to me. It's nice to try out new things. Yes. Yeah. I already got to see the new Star Wars movies, guys. That's why I had to draw some people from that film. But here's my review. Yeah. Go see it. Enjoy it. I think I tweeted it out. If last year's movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed, if last year's movie was a modern day reboot of Star Wars, where they followed the original pretty closely with some very nice little twists and some very enjoyable new characters, and like I said, I really enjoyed that movie. This film is pure fan service. Like I think this is what everyone always wanted. Like just give us an old Star Wars movie. Like the old, like everything, how it felt, how it sounded, what it looked like, everything. And just give us an all-out war, and that's Rogue One, pretty much. And there's lots of, oh, just gonna have to see the movie yourself. So yeah. Your ice skating thing. Pues es 1 litro.
1,5 litros.
Yo creo que es solo un vaso y ya, ¿no? Como normal, como eso.
No, en el Kentucky siempre.
Uy. I know, it's a guilty pleasure, guys. Time to tuck in.
Cada un és un diferent. Aquest porta seva.
Go on. Wish him Merry Christmas. No, not me. Merry Christmas, guys.